Well, hey fans, welcome back to another streaming review, and today we're talking about Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3. So Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3 picks up basically exactly where Season 6 Part 2 left off. I think it is a few months later. So the Sekai Taikai ended in tragedy. One of the members of the Korean Cobra Kai team, he killed himself in an accident, so they canceled the rest of the tournament. Miyagi-Do is back home in the valley, and everybody's kind of just doing their own thing because they don't know if the Sekai Taikai is going to continue, and they really want to prove themselves to the world as the best dojo out there. Of course, Terry Silver used the remaining bits of his reach and his money to find the president of the Sekai Taikai and to have it reinstated and brought to the valley under, his supervision, basically because he has the money to fund it. He says something along the lines of the tournament should be used to remember the boy who died instead of letting him go in obscurity, which is interesting because there's that entire plot line that Mr. Miyagi participated in the Sekai Taikai in his youth, and his match ended in his opponent dying. So I feel like death happening in this tournament is not something new. I know that would have happened a long time ago, but it is something they should have been prepared for, because you never know what can happen when you're fighting someone. But yeah, and again with that plotline, it is never brought up in this third part of the season. They don't take that anywhere. I guess we'll find out what happened with that in a future show or movie or whatever about him killing some guy, if that was also an accident. I just found that interesting. But of course, the tournament starts again. Miyagi-Do gets to prove themselves to the world as the ultimate champions because they were in the final two according to the points. And I have to say, I enjoyed the final part of this season. I enjoyed as much as part 1 and part 2. Again, I think the show did jump the shark, but what they did here that was great was they brought the show back to what it was in the beginning. Cobra Kai. This is Johnny Lawrence's story. It was great to see, the emotional reunion with him and Kreese, him talking about how him losing that first match against Dan LaRusso way back in the 80s, how it affected him and how it affected him more so that Kreese kind of was mean to him afterwards when he saw this guy basically like a father. He didn't trust anybody after that, and that basically sent his life on a downward spiral. We had a brief flashback of him before the series, which I think was very emotional when he's talking to his mom's grave. And just the stuff that we've learned about Johnny throughout the series, him as a main character, it worked well. Basically, this whole show, and again, it was stretched out over a show, this is like the Creed franchise of the Karate Kid. And I just think that it worked well. It was really great seeing Miguel back in the Cobra Kai gi for his final matchup, and it does solidify again, at least to me, I don't know about the rest of the world, but Miguel is the best fighter to come out of this series. He is the Dan LaRusso character. He is the main guy. So when you look back on this series, it is not only Johnny Lawrence's story, it is also Miguel's story. So that was fun. And they brought it back. Cobra Kai is back. Cobra Kai never dies. I love that aspect. And that is one thing, like I said, it felt like it in those middle seasons is like, well, what happened to Cobra Kai? I thought it was going to be about Cobra Kai turning a new leaf and becoming a, recognized dojo. And they got back to that, like I said, and it was fantastic seeing that. Everybody pretty much has wrapped up storylines and happy endings, which is great, although some of it doesn't make sense, like Tori and Robbie getting those like karate NIL deals. It's like everybody at that tournament should have got one of those deals. All of those guys, all of those kids are elite martial artists, so I guess I was happy for them. What else? There's no Julie Pierce. Julie Pierce does not show up in this. Apparently they could not get in touch with Hilary Swank to get her back in show. They really wanted her to make a cameo. Apparently they reached out to her agents, and her agents just never responded. So we don't know if that was on Hilary Swank and she told them not to respond, or they just thought that she was better than this type of show. But that still leaves her open to appear in something in the future. I do understand even putting her in this, they could have figured out how to make it work, but it would have really squeezed her in at this point in the narrative because she really wasn't her character in the next Karate Kid was not a part of those first 3 Karate Kid stories. They can really do something separate with her moving forward if they wanted to. She could even appear in the movie, so that would be nice to see. I did think we would get more cameos from more characters who appeared throughout the series in this final season. We did not, which I guess they really wanted to keep it focused, and that was good. The full redemption of Kreese, I did enjoy. Like I said, I enjoyed the meeting he had with Johnny Lawrence, but what they did with Terry Silver, and this is a spoiler for the season, both Kreese and Terry Silver die in this overblown explosion on Terry Silver's yacht. Also, that third guy that was like his henchman was on the boat. I'm not sure if Kreese killed him beforehand, but he was on that boat when it blew up, so he's also dead. And I just thought that was really a dumb choice to make. Like, first of all, they kind of throw out this storyline about Terry Silver having cancer. They kind of had that mentioned previously, but they didn't really delve into it, but they bring that back around. But like the death of Terry Silver, it rubs me the wrong way, because when Terry Silver is first brought back into the show, he has moved on from this. He's an adult. He's running his father's, well, it's now his business. He's living like a normal life. He didn't want any part of this. He even told like Kreese, like, look, it was the 80s. I know I owe you a life debt from the military and you're my guy, but like I was hopped up on cocaine. We were fighting kids. That's not cool. And Kreese like eats away at him and gets him back into it. And he's like, well, if I'm going to be back in this, I'm going to do it the right way. And he just kind of falls into those old tendencies. And I just didn't like that. I really wanted both Kreese and Silver to also come out of this show, maybe not on the exact same level as Johnny Lawrence, but to be a redeemed character. Maybe just go back to their normal lives and just try to be better people. And I think that would have been a better ending than having them blow up in some giant boat explosion and die. I wanted better from those characters. Chosen, I liked his storyline in terms of like, you expect, oh, he's going to end up with Kimiko. No, it's a more realistic take. Like, she's like, look, I like you, you're a good friend, but I don't want us to be together like that. And the person he ends up with is exactly who you think he's going to end up with, because he hooked up with her in the second part of the story, Kim Daeun, which her thing with her granddad, who she kills, that's like a whole weird thing. Like, that's just okay. She just killed her grandfather. Like, that was an interesting thing, but she's now running a dojo. That's a character. Chosen and Kim Daeun, those are characters I would like to see come back in some kind of spinoff or however that works. And I'm rambling a bit, but overall, I think it was a solid finish to a show that maybe went a little too long, but it's okay because we just love Cobra Kai. And in terms of a score, I'm going to give Cobra Kai Season 6 Part 3 a good 4 out of 5. You know, there are a lot of things I would have liked to see out of the series that I never got. I do think, and part of it is because they did not know the movie was being made when they first envisioned the story. If they could have gotten like a Jackie Chan or some connection to this new movie that's coming out. Of course, we want to see Julie Pierce. Of course, we want to see more about these mysteries around Mr. Miyagi, which they did answer the whole him being like wanted for like beating up a guy and stealing something from him. They did answer that whole aspect, which it was good to know that there was a reason Mr. Miyagi did what he did. I think I'm at peace with what this show was. I think it was a very, like, the fact that this show started out on YouTube Red, and then after 2 seasons it was getting canceled, Netflix picked it up and it went for 4 more seasons, and now there's a new movie coming out. I think it's great. I think this is a franchise that can be mined by Sony for years to come. Like, I want a Mr. Miyagi prequel. I want a Julie Pierce show. I want so much more from the universe. And now they have all of these extra characters to choose from, and it'll be great. Like, in 30 years, when we get the Old Man Miguel Cobra Kai show or movie, I will be happy. I'd like to thank you guys again for joining me for this streaming review. You can find the full review for Cobra Kai, all the seasons, on my website, flipfrogllc.com/flixfrog. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. And please, pretty please, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. And remember, Cobra Kai never dies.